Hi, it's me again. Prepare for another rant. No album in Tyler the Creator's catalog splits listeners as sharply as Cherry Bomb. Lauded by some as a fearless genre smash and dismissed by others as chaos for chaos' sake. The record occupies as a transitional space between the bratty provocation of Goblin and Wolf, while also being the sculpted introspection of flower-born Igor. A decade on, its contradictions remain vivid. This argues that while Cherry Bomb is indispensable to understanding Tyler's evolution, its formal and thematic flaws keep it from cohering into masterpiece, and its ambitions to hold on, its ambition seems to promise. Tyler produced, engineered, and mixed Cherry Bomb almost entirely alone. A decision that grants the album a raw author how do I say this? Authorial stamp, but also underlies its most glaring weakness, a relentlessly overcompressed mix. From the opening snarl of Death Camp through the title track static loud and outro, the waveforms are brick wall. Distortion can be expressive. Public Enemies takes. Oh, hold on. Public Enemies, It Takes a Nation, or Kanye West's Yeezus. I can't believe I mentioned Kanye, especially after what he said. Wheeled as a clipping. Wheeled clipping as ideology, but here it often feels accidental. Vocals tumble into the same frequency band as distorted guitars kick, drums lose their transient. Oh god, I'm tired. Punch to a fog of mid-range noise. The result is not the analog warmth of saturation, but the brutal fatigue of digital clipping, making it sustained listening difficult and muddying lyrical detail. Tyler once described Cherry Bomb as my version of a Pharrell record with punk. On a paper, that genre collision reads exciting. In practice, it lacks the connective tissue. Sorry, lung capacity sucks. That could turn stylistic breadth into narrative. Bread is. What the fuck? It was like 2 a.m. whenever I was like writing this up. The tracklist ricochets from the punk rap blitz of Pilot to the silky jazz soul of Find Your Wings, with a little transitional logic where Igor threads disparate. Why is there so many big words? Why did I suddenly become fucking Shakespeare at 2 in the morning? Disparate textures through a breakup storyline. Cherry Bomb stacks them like discrete mood boards. The sequencing undermines momentum. Each stylistic pivot resets listeners' investment rather than expanding it. Moments of the compositional brilliance peek through the rubble. The ascending horn stabs in Buffalo, the lush chord modulations of Two Seater, and the triumphant hook on Smuckers hint at a record of greater refinement buried inside, yet motifs appear and vanish before achieving full development. Two Seater introduces an intoxicating soul progression only to dissolve into a hidden track. Run teases a Neptunes-esque groove, then cuts abruptly. Tyler seems so eager to chase the next idea that he abandons the previous one mid-blossom, leaving the listener with tantalizing fragments rather than complete statements. Lyrically, Tyler straddles two shelves. The shock jock provocateur of early Odd Future and the vulnerable narrator he would soon embrace in, I don't know how to exactly say this, Okaga, California. I think that's how you say it. He asks sincerely for escape and companionship. One track earlier, he fires off juvenile slurs for percussive effect. The juxtaposition creates tonal dissonance that dilutes both modes, where later albums resolve this tension by dropping the edgelord mask. Cherry Bomb wears it only half removed, resulting in a portrait of an artist mid-growth spurt, fascinating yet unsteady. Tyler's reference for Pharrell Williams and Nerd, I think that's how you say it, premates the record from crunchy garage guitars to 4-count intros. 4-count intros like on All Right by Kendrick Lamar. And also falsetto harmonies. Influence is inevitable, obviously. The critical question is whether it is synthesized into a unique signature or merely replicated on Death Camp and Keep the O's. The Neptune's DNA is so pronounced that Tyler risks slipping into cosplay. Only only later works he only on later works does he subsume those colors into a palette unmistakably his own. Milk break. Anyways, Smuckers featuring standout verses from Kanye West and Lil Wayne arrives at track 11. A late game adrenaline spike quickly followed by the languid 7-minute two-seater. The album thus front loads a brace of energy, buries its centerpiece, and coasts to diffuse close. Effective pacing should escalate or elegantly descend Cherry Bomb. Instead, staggers, squandering its strongest cut and leaving the finale feeling anticlimactic. But what was the legacy? It was a necessary misfire. Yet to dismiss Cherry Bomb as mere excess to overlook its catalytic function, the record forced Tyler to confront the limits of self-production and unfiltered impulse. The backlash to its mix and cohesion arguably propelled him toward the meticulous sound design of Flower Boy and the narrative discipline of Igor. In that sense, Cherry Bomb is Tyler's crucible, a messy proving ground where failed experiments is yielded to the knowledge that birthed later triumph, such as Call Me If You Get Lost and Chromacopia most recently. Cherry Bomb stands as a document of transition, valuable, volatile, and fundamentally flawed. Its sonic abrasion privileges volume over clarity. Its genre leaps lack narrative glue. Its songwriting teems with half-realized brilliance, and its lyrics oscillate between juvenile shock and emerging sincerity. Its homage skirts imitation, and its pacing undercuts its own high points, yet within these shortcomings lies the very evidence of artist testing and ultimately acceding to his limits. To engage critically with Cherry Bomb is to witness ambition outrunning execution, a moment when creative risk produced as much trouble as revelation. For that reason, it remains essential listening, not because it's the Tyler Creator's best album, but because it's the last one he had to make before becoming his best self. But what do I think of it? In short, it sucked. Too much noise, and the only words I could understand on that album was on the track Cherry Bomb, and the only two words that I said, that I heard, was Cherry Bomb. And that's it. The rest of it was just like... Okay, bye-bye.